the dead of night, footsteps pressed against soft earth, hearts racing faster than the stars above. They moved silently, through forests, across rivers, and into the hidden doors of strangers' homes. This was no ordinary journey. It was survival. It was rebellion. It was hope. Tonight we step into the shadows of history to uncover the secret underground routes that carried the enslaved to freedom. Imagine standing in complete darkness. The only light comes from a flickering lantern, half covered to avoid detection. Your hands tremble as you clutch a small sack of food, the only possessions you could carry. Every sound, the crack of a branch, the howl of a dog, feels like it might expose you. Behind you lies the life of bondage, chains that have scarred your back and silenced your name. Ahead lies uncertainty. Freedom, perhaps, or death. Now picture this. You're not alone. Someone, a stranger, opens their home to you, feeds you, and tells you when to move. They whisper a single word: north. You trust them with your life, even though one wrong step could cost them theirs too. This was the perilous reality of those who escaped slavery through the Underground Railroad. Not an actual railroad, but a network of secret routes, coded messages, and brave men and women who risked everything for liberation. Today, we peel back the curtain on one of history's most daring acts of defiance, the hidden pathways that carried thousands from chains to freedom. The story of the Underground Railroad is one of courage, secrecy, and extraordinary human resilience. Between the late 18th and mid-19th centuries, countless enslaved men and women in the American South made the harrowing decision to escape bondage. Their path was never straight, never easy. It wound through dense forests, across freezing rivers, over mountain ranges, and into safe houses tucked away in unsuspecting towns. But what made this possible wasn't just geography. It was people. Free black men and women, abolitionists, religious communities, and ordinary families risked imprisonment, violence, and ruin to shelter those fleeing slavery. Their homes became stations. Their guidance turned dangerous landscapes into maps of survival. Why does this story matter today? Because it reminds us of the lengths human beings will go to claim dignity and freedom. It teaches us about solidarity, that strangers, bound by moral conviction, can come together to resist injustice. And it forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth, that slavery wasn't just chains and fields, but a system so brutal that people were willing to risk everything to escape it. As we journey into this history, we'll walk alongside those who ran by moonlight, who hid in attics and barns, who learned to read the stars like road signs. We'll uncover how codes in quilts, songs, and lanterns became directions to freedom. And we'll meet the fearless conductors, Harriet Tubman among them, whose names now echo as symbols of defiance. This isn't just history. It's a reminder of resilience, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle for liberty. The plantation fields. Stretched endlessly, row after row of cotton and tobacco under the southern sun. For those enslaved, every day was a cycle of forced labor, punishment, and survival. Families were torn apart at auctions. Names were erased. The whip was constant, and freedom was a dream spoken only in whispers. Yet even under such oppression, seeds of resistance took root. Stories of free states to the north spread like wildfire, sometimes carried by sailors, sometimes whispered by those who had managed to escape and return in secret. "Follow the North Star," they said. "There is a way out." By the late Tiwak 1700s, networks began forming. Enslaved people needed not only courage, but also guidance: where to go, how to avoid capture, when to move. Slowly, these networks grew into what history remembers as the Underground Railroad, a name given not because it was underground, nor a railroad, but because it was hidden, and it moved people. The routes were never fixed. Paths changed constantly, adapting to danger. Rivers became highways, forests became shelters, caves and swamps, though perilous, offered hiding places from bloodhounds. Travelers moved mostly at night, guided by the North Star, Polaris, a steady point in the sky. But navigation went beyond the stars. Messages were hidden in songs. A hymn like Wade in the Water suggested using rivers to throw off dogs. Follow the Drinking Gourd referred to the Big Dipper, pointing north. Quilts hung on fences displayed coded patterns. Diamonds meant pack your supplies, while log cabin squares signaled a safe house nearby. Even lanterns placed in a window could mean, "This house will hide you." Dialogue snippet. A frightened runaway whispers, "But how do I know where to turn?" The conductor replies softly, "When you see the lantern in the window, keep moving. That is your star on the ground." These codes were lifelines, invisible to slave catchers, but clear to those who knew how to read them. The Underground Railroad could not have existed without its conductors, the men and women who guided others to freedom. None stands taller than Harriet Tubman. Born enslaved in Maryland, Tubman escaped in 1849, yet she returned, again and again, risking her own life to lead others out. Armed sometimes with nothing but faith and determination, she guided more than 70 people to freedom. Her nickname, Moses. When fear overcame those she led, she reassured them, "You'll be free or die." But Tubman was not alone. Levi Coffin, a white Quaker from Indiana, was called the president of the Underground Railroad, sheltering thousands. Frederick Douglass, himself once enslaved, used his newspaper to encourage resistance and expose the brutality of the system. Entire communities, like the free black settlements in Ohio and Canada, became sanctuaries. Every conductor knew the risks. Federal law punished anyone caught aiding fugitives with heavy fines, jail, even violence from angry mobs. And yet, thousands chose to help anyway. The escape itself was grueling. Imagine walking for miles barefoot, your feet bleeding, your stomach empty. Rain turned paths into mud. Winters brought frostbite. Every rustle in the woods could be a patrol searching for runaways. Posters with rewards for capture were nailed to trees and tavern walls. Hunters with dogs scoured the countryside. Many traveled in small groups. A mother clutching her child might be guided by a young man, each depending on the other's silence and courage. Sometimes they hid in false bottom wagons, concealed under hay or goods. Others squeezed into attics so tight they could not stand, breathing through cracks in the wood for days. Dialogue snippet. "I can't go on," a weary traveler murmurs. "You must," the conductor insists. "Just a few more miles. Freedom waits beyond the river." The Ohio River was a major crossing point. Beyond it lay free states. But reaching Canada, beyond the reach of U.S. law, was the ultimate goal. There, fugitives could live without fear of being dragged back into bondage. For those who reached Canada or northern free states, freedom came with mixed emotions. Joy surged, families reunited, lives rebuilt. Some learned trades, opened businesses, or became activists themselves. But the scars of slavery remained. And freedom was fragile. Even in the North, racism and prejudice followed them. Yet their journeys left a legacy. By the time the Civil War erupted, the Underground Railroad had helped tens of thousands escape. Its very existence struck fear into the slaveholding South, showing that bondage could be resisted. It inspired abolitionist movements to push harder, louder, until slavery itself was abolished, and for those who never made it, who were captured or killed, their courage still echoed. Every attempt, every risk, was an act of defiance against a system that sought to erase their humanity. The Underground Railroad was more than a network of routes. It was a testament to what people will endure and what others will risk for freedom. It revealed the cruelty of slavery, Yes, but also the unbreakable spirit of those who refuse to remain chained. Think about the bravery it took to step off a plantation at midnight, leaving everything behind, guided only by faith and whispers. Think about the compassion of strangers who opened their homes, knowing discovery could mean ruin. These weren't superheroes. They were ordinary people bound together by extraordinary courage. Today, this story challenges us. It asks, what injustices do we ignore? Would we risk our comfort, even our safety, to protect others? History does not just live in books. It demands reflection in the present. The secret roots, the lanterns, the coded songs, these are not just relics. They are symbols of resistance, of solidarity, of humanity's relentless pursuit of dignity. In remembering them, we honor the unnamed men, women, and children who dared to walk toward freedom, even when the path was dark. Their footsteps remind us, the journey toward justice is never easy, but it is always worth taking. If this story moved you, help us keep their voices alive. Like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Forgotten Chains for more powerful stories hidden in history's shadows. Each week, we bring you narratives of resilience, struggle, and triumph, stories that deserve to be remembered. And if you want to continue this journey, watch our video on The Untold Slave Revolt in Jamaica, 1831, another chapter of defiance against oppression. The Underground Railroad teaches us that even in the darkest night, there are always lights, lanterns in the window, stars in the sky, people willing to guide others forward. So as you leave this video, carry this thought with you: freedom is never given. It is taken, protected, and shared.